Welcome back to the New Zealand Property Podcast and video series, kindly sponsored of course by Harcourts Property Ventures at Alexandra Park. Hey, today we've got long-time guest, haven't seen him for quite a while, but welcome along again, Aaron.
Good to be back, Mark. Good to be long-time guest. Yes, I've got more years behind me than I've got in front of me, that's for sure.
Oh, yep, you definitely have, mate, but don't take it offensive for it. So,
I don't. My counting days are numbered, but I'm still on the cold face every day.
Excellent, you are. Now, those who don't know Aaron, I was just thinking the other day, I was thinking, geez, who wouldn't like Aaron Davis? And I thought, if you don't like challenging yourself, if you don't want to be the best you can, some people might look at you a wee bit funny sort of thing. And that's one of the things I love about Aaron, and over the years he's challenged me, and he helps a lot of good people, in fact helps with the best agents around New Zealand. And that's one of the things I've liked about Harcourts in the year with them being here, they also challenge you. And that's again with our business, Wendy and I, we do the same thing. We try as hard as we can to get the best out of our agents to be the best that they can. So, bit of a different introduction, mate, but
well, there you go.
There you go.
Best one I've received today, Mark. So all good.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's having courage, right? And we all have to be courage. One of the biggest things that I suffer from at the moment is a comfort crisis, right? I get real comfortable.
Yep.
And we all go, we love change, but no, people don't like change. But anyway, got to get out of my comfort.
You can be average, or you get out of your comfort zone, and that's the one thing you constantly do to people, and that's pretty cool. So just before we quickly get into it too, in half a minute or a minute, what do you do at Harcourts? What's your job? You used to be the auctioneer man?
Auctioneer and business development manager. So I'm selling franchises, greenfields, new ones, old ones, just getting in there, sorting out a few problems. So yeah, in sales.
Always problems.
Always problems. Finding solutions for good people.
Absolutely, good work.
And sometimes not so good people, finding them solutions to go and work somewhere else.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I like it. Well, we're speaking of solutions and stuff, with the elections have just happened. We've actually finally got a government after a couple of months, and they're all working together. We hopefully good for the country. And the market's been a wee bit funny. Just a quick take of the market of where you see things, and you get around a lot of the offices, so you are probably a good man to say on the coal front what you're seeing.
Yes. Well, I've learned a couple of things recently, Mark. Number one, the stats. Take no notice of the stats, right? Because the stats are all retrospective. They're all in hindsight. They're 6 weeks old. And I've learned over the years that only 50% of my predictions ever come correct. It's a fluctuating market at the moment. What I saw was a real hiatus, and you would have seen it too prior to the election. Everyone was optimistic, and a lot of sales were happening. After the election, a whole lot of stock has hit the market, and that's not being soaked up by the buyers that are in the market. So yes, there's pressure on the market at the moment. Now, good properties are still really, really popular, but man, you've got to be pretty courageous at the moment to go to the market thinking that house prices have jumped. They have not. So yeah. Yeah,
we are finding that some are going, oh, it's jumped up a lot, but when did you buy Mrs. Vendor? I bought 2 years ago. Well, we know it dropped down 19.2%. And yes, it has gone up somewhat from then, but it's still down 10% from where you were.
Yes, people are buying your property, not your problem or your circumstances. I've had those conversations quite a bit. And this is just good people, right? Bad things, it's funny, bad things happen to good people. These are good people that bought property 2 years ago, and I'm sorry they've lost money. I don't like telling them that, but most have.
Yeah, no, that's right, and we're just the messenger.
And quite often I'm talking to good people, and a stereotype, but it's that a lot of them have had, middle class New Zealanders have had enough of New Zealand. They've got now this mortgage that's gone from here that's tripled. I too have had one of those letters from the BNZ. Did you get one of those?
Oh, yeah, I got one of them. Yeah.
Congratulations.
From all of them.
Yeah, congratulations. Your interest rate's just going bang. Yeah, that's why I'm
tripled one in the last 2 weeks.
That's why I'm still working. So those good people are going, right, we're out of here. We want to sell our problem to someone else. And it's a standard joke for me, eh? When I go, why are you selling? Half of them go Australia, and I go, don't, let me guess, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth or Brisbane. And they laugh. And it's just because a lot of people are doing that at the moment.
They are. Yep.
And I'm going, the wrong conversation is with me. You need to be talking to your bank. You need to be, how big is your mortgage? You know, you need to talk to your bank. If you want to get to Australia, then you're going to have to go over there still owing the bank money, possibly. Always exceptions, right?
Yeah, because the vendor that comes along and says, I need $1 million, when the market's saying it's worth 880, which we have often. It doesn't matter what the situation, unfortunately, as you're saying, good bad things happen to good people. The market is where the market is.
Market is where the market is, and people keep on trying to talk about where's the market going. I don't care. The market is the market today, and if you've got a genuine reason to sell, you'll sell. But if you're waiting for a miracle to happen, it can still happen, but the odds of that are diminished.
Just one thing you picked up on you before, you said about standalone homes or good homes, and you see more offices than just our office, but our office, what we've found is at the moment, cross leases, anything with a body corp, and I like body corps, I think body corps are worth their money, or something odd with a property, those ones, they are selling now, they weren't selling 6 months ago, but slow, and the ones I think that are keeping the averages up are the standalone, good house in a good location, and you're calling auctions all the time, they're going above reserve some of those properties, right?
Yes. But you've got to have the courage, correct? Yes. But you've got to have the courage to put it on the market at a number that excites 3 or 4 buyers.
Yes, yeah.
So it's so true, because when there's choice, right, then you've got to have the best product at the best price when there's choice. So before, when the market was smoking, you know, it was on fire, it's like a cat on a hot tin roof, right?
Yep.
The buyers were forced to marginalise, and they were forced to buy a property they didn't necessarily want. Now there's so much choice, so they're going, we're not going to compromise.
Yeah.
Because compromise is for my wife's relationship with me, Mark. But
she must compromise a lot, mate.
But now they don't have to. So give them a good product and they'll turn up and they'll fight and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
But if you've got anything marginalised, your only decision at the moment is, right, give the market such a good price, the market can't ignore the price.
And we'll talk about the price, I think, just shortly when we talk about auctions. So, yeah.
Oh, that word.
Auctions.
Auction.
Yeah.
Gee.
Get back in your seat. You know, come on. I'm going to challenge this guy, in fact, because
challenge me. Absolutely, bring it on.
In fact, funny story is, I go back a few years ago. We've known each other quite a while, and I was in a group of people, and they were all auctioneers. Not only auctioneers, the best auctioneers in the country. And here was me with this other company that never did auctions. And again, we challenged each other a little bit back then.
That's
I
healthy.
think. And now I have to say it's the only way to go. But anyway, I'm going to play the advocate here, and we are going to talk auctions.
Yeah.
And
happy to.
And you're going to tell us why they're the best or the worst thing to do in the market right now, or any time. But let's talk right now. The next 6 months. I love the market. The next 2 years, where it's going to be. It's going to be fairly stable. There'll be little bits and pieces, and maybe a couple ups and a couple wee bit downs. But that's what whether it's right or wrong, I think it's going to happen. Great time in the market to buy in. If you're an investor, home buyer, whatever you are.
Well, no, and I'll give an opinion, right? I think that if you buy now or in 2024, in 2027, 2028, you'll be bragging to family and friends how you bought somewhere at the bottom of the market, whenever that is, right?
Yeah.
But if you're buying and selling to make money in the next 6-12 months, well, that's a whole different question, right? But yeah.
Okay, rightio, auction. So, well, you start first. You know, why? You're selling to me at auctions. Why auctions, Aaron?
Right. Well,
talk me into an auction.
A couple of things. Do you want the best marketer and the best negotiator? Because they are the two skill sets that you're paying for, Mark. Or do you want an agent to sit here today and give you the highest price and start a relationship back based on lack of trust and trying to buy your listing? Are you after integrity and the truth, or what are you after?
Yeah, and great question, and it's because the people, some people, unfortunately, a small percentage of people will go, I want $1 million, I want the best price.
No worries. Sign the listing form. I'll go to the market with $1 million, and if some kamikaze buyer is out there that wants to pay you your miracle price or wants to buy your problem, happy days. But if not, there's no angst between us, right? No angst at all. The recent sales have been here. The competition's here. You're giving the market a Nissan or a Toyota, and you're asking for a Ferrari price. Now, I'm a really good agent, but I can't create miracles. And I'm not going to start the relationship based on a lack of trust. I'll only ask for it once to put your trust in me. I'll only ask for it once. I'm not going to let you down, but I'm not going to start this relationship based on a lie.
No.
Like, you've got to see. I think a lot of people go wrong when they think the agent's job is to tell me what I'll get it for. Agent's job, by law, we've got to tell you an appraisal, but man, we've got no idea.
Yeah. The one thing I love right now, again, in the market, and jumping back on your side, that is it's never been easier now to, I won't say appraisal a property, just to show what the figures are, because the figures are pretty standard for the last 3 to 6 months now.
Yeah.
And if you think you can get more than that, well, you've got to have a really damn good reason why it's worth more than that. And there might be a good reason. There might be something different about this property than the other ones. But right now, you show the vendor, you tell them the truth, as you said, and show them the figures of what's selling. It's never been easier to, and they are actually green and they like the honesty.
Yeah.
So they're not. Yeah, it's a good time not to be buying a listing, and you should never buy a listing as an agent.
It happens most time
yeah.
because vendors want the truth, but they're always weighed towards more optimistic information, right? It's funny how logic goes out the window. They hear a higher price. Oh, that person can get me a higher price.
Yeah.
Now, the best marketer, the best negotiator can, but don't base your decision solely on that. If you want integrity from agents, see, if I was listing my house in today's market, I'd get 3, right? I would welcome the comparison, and I'd say to all 3 of them...
I said that yesterday to someone, in fact.
Yeah, I'd say to all 3 of them, hey, just to let all 3 of you agents know, whoever gives me the highest price, I will automatically won't be hiring them. Then you'll get the truth around what they actually think they can sell it for.
I love
then
that.
The
Good
best
point
marketer, the best marketer and the best negotiator will get you the premium price if it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Auctioneer, I mean, Jesus, people want all this money for marketing sort of thing. I guess it's an auction that's going to cost more money. You know, you've got to pay for you or the auctioneer, whoever the auctioneer is.
Yeah, no, I'm reassuringly expensive.
What else do I know? Is it worth throwing $4,000 or whatever at you guys?
Mark, okay, really, and like, you've got to have your facts, right? But you'll always have them. Like, okay, and I'll just share stories, right? So I'm in South Auckland yesterday. This very same thing, question come up about advertising. It's really, really easy. And I said to the agent, how many 3-bedroom properties are on the market in Papatoe and surrounding 6 kilometre radius? Because they'll look at different suburbs, right? Have a guess how many there were. 481 that are on the market, all jumping up and down going, choose my property, choose my property. And I've never met a vendor blame I've never met a vendor blame themselves for not selling, right?
Yeah.
They never, oh no, I want too much. No, my problem's got issues. I'm in a floodplain, blah, 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 blah. So 481 were on the market. Last month, there were 68 that sold. So Mark, you do the odds. Right, well, you've got a choice to make. You can outmarket the competition, or you can go in that melting pot with 481 listings. Which one do you want? Now, I'm here to make you money, right? I'm here. I've shown you the facts. You want, it sits around $8.50, and you've told me you won't sell for $1 less than $9. So the only chance I've got of getting that is to outmarket the competition. And also to out-negotiate. And how do you out-negotiate the market? You do that with auction. Because you're relying on people to change their mind so many times. When they hear those words on the market, that's when logic goes out the window and they start bidding with their hearts, not their heads. And if the number's there, as I learnt the other day, I'm the best chance of getting you that number. Now, if you don't want to invest the $4,000, well, that risk all sits with you. And who knows, you may get lucky. But Mark, you're an intelligent man.
No, that's exactly right. And,
shall I keep going?
I think you got your point, mate. So I mean, if you want 461 properties, and if you want the 80k above what the market is, and you don't want to spend any money on the marketing, you haven't got a chance. So
you got no chance.
Take it off the market. Wait for 4 years.
Yeah, there's just too much. There's too much noise in the property. And also, Mark, do you insure your property?
Yeah, of course you do.
Of course you do, right? You insure it to the value of $850,000 and you paid $3,000 a year. Your investment in marketing and profiling, you're ensuring that I go the width and the breadth of the marketplace to find you the best buyer. Then I can look you in the eye in 4 to 6 weeks' time and go, that's the money, and you'll say yes or no, under no duress.
Yeah. Yep. All good. Rightio, Mr. Auctioneer.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah. No, bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Mr. Auctioneer, we're going to have. You said you're going to do a 3.5 week campaign, 3 weeks of auctions. Open homes, at least 6 open homes.
Yes.
And what say if it doesn't happen then? I'll just wasted my $800 or whatever it is.
No.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much for the question, Mark. You're paying me to be the best negotiator. If you don't know who the patsy is, it's you. I spent years thinking that I've got above average intelligence, and finally I've realised that I do not. It's funny how good people think they can beat the market. Like someone who's done 5 transactions thinks they're an expert at property and how to bid at auction.
Yeah.
Like I've done this 9,000 times. Now I'm not saying that to impress anybody, but you, the best negotiator, I'm one of the best negotiators in the market.
Yeah.
You want me on your side. You need me on your side when things go wrong. And I've got countless stories about how, because we deal with it every day, we are match ready because we're negotiating every day. People think they're experts when they do it once every 3 months, or they get old Uncle Roger off the couch who's done 15 deals over 50 years and he's semi-retired. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, we're here to make you money, right? Best negotiator, that's our job.
And if it does, you get the bidders at the auction sort of thing, which is the agent's job to do. I've seen yourself on numerous occasions. In fact, one just a couple of months ago was one of a real doozy, and other auctioneers do the same. And your wealth value, really starts once the auction has almost finished when they start a negotiation, unless it's got to the reserve. It's just going to sell.
Our job starts when the buyers say no. Whether you're negotiating or whether you're on the market, that's what you're paying us to do.
And to see you in action, it'll talk about 40 minutes. One out in won't say where, but not far from just south of the north centre of town, east or whatever it was.
I remember that. It took about an hour, 15 minutes.
An hour, and then that was some great skills there, and you got an outstanding price for that property. But that's just one of many I can say, let alone the 8,000, 9,000.
Well, you're contracting the negotiation and you're working and playing on people's emotions. That's our job, not to lie to people, but our job is to make them do stuff they don't want to do. Now again, you can use the adage of going, I want to save money. Man, if you want to save money, sell it yourself. But if you want to make money, take no shortcuts.
Big difference between saving and making. Think about that when you're selling your property. You
got an $850,000 house. Anyone can sell it for 800 grand. And people go, I'm going to save myself $5,000. Oh, great, but it just costs you 45,000. And I say this, Mark, get me fired up. Why not have your ticket in the lottery?
I remember a couple of years ago when the market was running really hot. And a friend came out to me and said, I sold my house myself and I got 100k above CV. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I don't really want to burst your bubble, but most places around your area are selling for 250 to 300 above CV. And I don't want to be a dick about it, but like, do you want the expert? Do you pay your mate who's flies a plane to fix your plumbing up? No, you go to the expert and do it.
Correct. So just go through the process. Pay your fee, so at the end of the day you can go, right, I've tried everything and I get to now make a decision. There's no risk, right? Well, there's always a little bit of risk, but you limit the risk, and and we've all got stories about people who sold it privately for 1-2. The person buying it employs us to run an auction. We turn up and we sell it for 1.7, and we've all got those stories, right? Take no shortcuts.
Okay, at the end of the auction it doesn't sell, maybe there's one buyer who's a wee bit low or no buyers there. So no buyers decided to buy the property that we've marketed really well, done an outstanding job, and there's 300 people on the watch list but no one's brought it. What happens then?
Well, you price the property. The average days, basically throughout New Zealand, I don't know, but it's close to 60 days, right? So let's call it 2 months. All the negotiation strength sits with, if you were the vendor, you got 2 months to sell your property, Mark. Now I'm here to do it anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks, so all the negotiation strength sits with you. Now auction's not perfect. If we can sell it on the day, great. We've got an 8% chance of selling it before the auction to give you a good night's sleep. Mark, do you like a good night's sleep?
Oh, I love a good night's
So
sleep.
if I can find you a cash buyer that takes it off your hands, because we don't like love letters, do we?
No.
And you're probably thinking, what's a love letter? A love letter is a conditional offer full of empty promises where people put you on the Jewish squeeze. I'll pay you $850, I'll get a building report, and I come back and go, hey, I now want to pay you $820 because of boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Right? Mugs territory. We'll deal with that if we have to. 8% chance of that happening. In Auckland at the moment, you've got a 42.5% chance of it selling on auction day.
Yep.
So let's call it 50-50.
Yep.
And if no one bids and no one's there, life goes on, work continues, the universe hasn't singled you out. We've only been on the market for 4 weeks, but we've got all that intel that we can now put a sharp and shiny price. Now, quite often, 32.5% of the time, properties will go into contract straight after or within 1 week of the auction.
Yep.
So, Mark, they're pretty good odds.
Yeah, they're very good odds.
But don't expect auction to be perfect, right?
Yep.
And if we've been on the market for 2 weeks and it's as dead as a doornail and to best of our knowledge, there's no interest in the property, well, if we have to change the campaign and take it away from auction and do something else, your home, your money, you make all the right decisions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for us, after 18 months of, we'll say, pretty average business going on, the last 4 or 5 months, and have that strategy's worked well. And we're about the 50-50 of selling under the hammer. But yeah, the week after works has worked really well, and we've had really good success with that. And that's by using the different portals we use and using the watch lists and all that, very, very well. A really good example was we did one, it was about 3 months ago now in Mount Roskill. Stick with me here. The reserve was 1,150. It got to 1,020, 130 short. So went over. We put 1,195. I actually thought it was a wee bit on the high side. So 1,195. It went under contract the day after on the Sunday for 1,190, and it went unconditional on the Friday. Yeah. So that's how the auction works. And what you do, you pay the good marketing, you get everyone there. Some people can't buy under the hammer, or some people can't, or they're not brave enough to go and do it and what have you. Yeah. So you're still accumulating all those buyers are sitting there, and that's where the day after the day, as you like doing, or that day of the auction, put a price on, and as you said earlier on right at the start, put a good price on, as in a price that's going to attract more than one person.
Yeah. And you've had 4 weeks of intel. And I think the biggest...
Which is we didn't have 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
But you can get it wrong too. You can price it and someone buys it on the first day and you're in the first buy and you're going, geez, we didn't ask for enough. Like, we all know the numbers, but no one can see. A vendor never knows what they're going to do until they're faced with it, what they're going to sell for. So every vendor tends to be here and they sell, and every buyer tends to be here and they have to pay a little bit more. And the faster you get them both together, great, because you're trying to find motivated people that want to do a real estate transaction. But there's so many sales prevention officers out there, man, over quoting, no marketing, and all they're doing is running an antique store, right? They're just collecting antiques.
Yeah.
And then a good agent will come along, second or third time on the market, and say, Mark, I'm really sorry. When you're listed with X, Y, Z or da-da-da-da, you tried to save money. I'm here to clean up the mess. It's going to cost you a little bit more money second time around, and we'll get you sold. Just keep on thinking, who is the best marketer and who's the best negotiator? And then everything else falls in place.
Yeah. One of the things you said before also about the question we often get is right at the start of the campaign when we're signing the listing, so we're going to this auction, looking forward to it, what should we set the reserve at, or what's the reserve going to be? I say, I'm not even worried about that for 3 or 4 weeks. As you're saying, you want that 3 or 4 weeks intel, then we'll talk about it the day before the auction.
Show you the money. You can set your reserve at $1. It makes no difference because you always get to make the final decision. It doesn't. When the bidding happens, or with Harcourts, when the bidding meets the reserve, it's not on the market until the vendor says. And one of the biggest things that I've seen change with auction over recent years, conditional buyers can submit an offer. Real easy. I've seen plenty of campaigns when a conditional buyer's come along and the vendor's gone, do we have any cash interest at this point in time? To the best of our knowledge, no. It's a good conditional offer. Right, I'm going to pull it, 2.6 of the auction agreement. I'm going to pull it from the auction and sign it up to the conditional buyer.
Yeah.
So, conditional buyers, if you're out there, have a go on auction properties. find the property you want, then find an intelligent agent with an IQ higher than mine and buy into the market.
That's most of them.
Yeah, well, it's okay. That's all right. Two things I'm good at: auctioneering and upsetting my wife. And we're not here to talk about relationships today.
Oh boy, that would be the first part of about 150 parts. No, I didn't say that.
No, of course not.
All good. No, jolly good. Yeah, we won't keep you too long today on this, but auctions are such an important part of real estate. As I said, it gets the results, it gets it at the property there, and it puts you in a situation to not control what's going on, but you still have the decision making for what it is from that buyer that comes through from week one, wants an early auction. That's the dream. That's the phase one.
Yeah.
If a phase two, or someone comes, as you said, with an unresistible offer that they need a little bit of due diligence for, and then stage two on the day. But the stage three, just after the auction, is such an important part as well. Yeah. So they're the three stages, and if you have a real estate agent that doesn't understand those three stages, well, just go to the next one down the road.
Well, but it's also it's the seller who doesn't understand it too, and they get upset when no one bids. It's like, man, we've only been on the market for 4 weeks. It's okay if you go into every auction campaign going, right, it's not going to sell. No one's going to turn up and bid. Then it's easy, right? We're spending 4 weeks getting a whole lot of intel, and then we're going to set our price based on where the buyers see this property in the market. Not based on homes, QV, one roof, rateable value, overinflated appraisals. The key discussion around price, ironically, is with the buyers.
In fact, on that point, I saw a couple of really bad mistakes a few years ago from agents. If you're a buyer and the agent's told you what they think the place is going to sell for an auction, just ignore what that agent has said, because we've seen it before where they'll set a price up here. They didn't go to the auction, the price sold down there. They've come back now to go to the agent going, I would have bought that place for more than that, but you told me. So if someone tells you a price, just ignore what they say, turn up to the auction, because you may get a good deal.
Well, I'll finish it. Here's my favourite thing if you're looking to buy a property, right? And I would say this if you were the agent. Mark, I have some interest in the property, but I'm not interested in a low quote from you today. I don't want to quote, don't want to know where buyers have seen value. What I want to know is the two most comparable sales that are closest to this property. Where are they and what did they sell for in the last 2 to 3 weeks? That's what I want to know.
Exactly, and that's what they should be doing, not telling you what they think.
Oh, we've had buyer feedback from what a whole lot of codwallop. Our owner was looking for north of. It's a guess. Sales prevention offers, big alarm bells should be going off going, right, I'm dealing with a rookie. But also sometimes when an agent overquotes, you're thinking, well, that's good because he can be buggering up the campaign.
Yes.
So reward is there to turn up at the auction because for those very reasons, right? Bad agents can cook campaigns. You can turn up with cash on the day and get a great buy.
Absolutely. Great stuff, Aaron. Always love your work. Love having a chat with you. And I'm sure the punters here watching have as well. So
thank you. I'm the 5th best auctioneer that you know, right? So it's a privilege to be here today. And for anyone can find me on social media, Aaron Davis, Ask Me. I love talking real estate, love talking auction, anytime, any place.
Jolly good. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, team. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time with the New Zealand Property Podcast. Farewell. Have a good one.
Ciao, ciao.